All necessary graduation requirements are listed over here on the left-hand side. For San Francisco Unified School District, each semester equals 5 credits. If your school district goes by 1 credit per semester, or 0.5 credits per semester, or 2.5 credits a semester, then you will need to make changes to not only the credit requirement, but you will also need to make changes to the credit calculation. So doing so is extremely easy. All you'll have to do is click on these cells individually and change the 5 to a 2.5 or a 1 or a 0.5, whatever one semester is worth in credits, that is what you change it to. So when you, let's just say you have a 0.5 as a semester equivalent. So therefore, we are going to go down here and we are going to change this 5 to a 0.5. And instead of having, let's see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, so there should be 5 classes. This is 25. Let me see, is there an F? Okay. So then there are 6 classes. So there are 6 classes, so 6 times 0.5 is, of course, 3. This number is going to be less than this number in the fall because the student received an F second semester. So that means that that second semester English course is not counted for credit. So therefore, that student will need to do credit recovery. But that is on a side note. But going back to changing the credit calculation, you just want to make sure that you go to each of these individually and change the 5 to a 0.5 to a 2.5 or whatever one semester worth of credit is, so that you can have the accurate calculation. This is also going to be true for not only all of these cells, but also this cell right here that calculates all of the credits. So you would just change the 5 to to whichever is the equivalent of 1 semester per 1 course of a passing grade is for your school district. The section to put credit recovery is right down here from 31 to 38. I put in some random grades for this, let's just say this rising junior, and what we can do is just make a plan for how the student probably made up those grades. And so freshman year, they did relatively fine in all classes except for English. There is a D and an F. So therefore, we're going to write for first semester is going to be English 1, and the second semester is going to be English 1, 2. So of course, the 1 for first semester and the 2 for second semester. Then when the student is a sophomore and the counselor is doing the transcript review, they can see, oh, little Johnny did English 1 over again and he got an A. So we're going to change that and then right click over here so that you can insert a comment and just write R for repeat. You actually can choose to just leave it as this is, but just in the San Francisco Unified School District, we use R's to show that that a student has repeated, and so therefore I have made that a practice to do that on my electronic transcript reviews. And so we're going to go to insert comment, R, and this also will help to show that you did not make a mistake in the grade and that the student did retake the course. If Johnny says, oh, I will do geometry in night school junior year, then that is fine as well. And then we will use the night school section for Johnny. So night school is offered for just sophomores and above. So this is why freshmen do not have that choice. But if Johnny wanted to take night school as a sophomore, we can add that here, or as a junior, as a senior. There are 3 slots available because students can take up to 2 night school classes and 1 Saturday school class per semester. So technically, a student can technically take 7 classes during the day, and then take 2 night school classes at night, and then have a Saturday class if they really, really, really need to load up on the credits. But in my experience, that has never worked. But technically, they can do that, and so that's why we have room for them to do that. The school counselor can also note which graduation requirements have already been met by highlighting them over here on the left-hand side. For example, this student has met the graduation requirement for PE, for VAPA, and for science. And so what I just did was I highlighted visual and performing arts and PE/ROTC, and I would highlight them. So basically just change the color by going over here to this paint section and then choosing a color. You can choose a different color if you want. I just choose yellow just because it is a habit of mine. And this, to me, will shout out to myself as well as to the student that this means that this graduation requirement has already been met. So by the time that they are seniors, 9 times out of 10, the students will have all of them highlighted except for English and for social sciences, and some may have some electives that they need to still finish. And this particular quote unquote student will definitely have language not highlighted because he or she is taking 2 years of Japanese junior and senior year. And so the college and career and health is always going to be highlighted as neon green as per the key says, as well as the G elective, which is going to be right here, is always going to be highlighted in this purple. And this is something that I just started doing because about 2 years ago, San Francisco Unified made it mandatory that all students to graduate, no matter what educational program they are in, they have to have 1 year of a G elective. And so I was not in the habit of doing that, especially for, let's say, some EL students or definitely our special education students, because they would take their study skills course, and that would get them their 50 credits of electives. But now they do need to have 10 credits of a G elective in order to graduate. So therefore, I started highlighting it just to make sure that I remembered that they got that credit. And also there's college and career and health. This is actually not an elective, but just to save space, I just put it over here in this area and I highlight it just to make sure that I know that the student gets it. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email at TheFlippedSchoolCounselor@gmail.com. Thank you so much. Thank you for choosing to spend this learning time with me. Please feel free to contact me with questions at TheFlippedSchoolCounselor@gmail.com. Check out the link on the screen for the Flipped School Counselor website, my Pay Teachers website, as well as sign up for my free newsletter. Thank you. See you soon.